What's that, Baxter? You ate the entire wheel of cheese? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails, a Grand Arena story. Guys, today we are done with 3v3 for the season. We'll start 5v5 next season, have a week off, which is well needed. Going to talk a lot about 5v5 stuff, but before that, I'm coming off a loss, and it's always a dangerous, difficult time, because am I going to go on tilt? Am I going to do something ill-advised, make some big sweeping changes that are going to really upset things? What can I do to right the ship? And my opponent actually happens to be an all-efficiency player here as well, has a lot of success doing that, and we've got to try and make things right if we can. One thing I do want to point out as well, folks, is his last video was trying some new things, and people didn't like the jump cuts nearly as much. They did say a lot that speeding up my battles would be better for, you know, like it would be fine to speed up the battles. So what I did this time, all of them are sped up to 125% speed. So just like a quarter faster. Maybe you won't even notice, maybe you will, but significantly decreases the amount of time, of course, that we're going to be spending. So let's check that out. See, again, I would love feedback. I appreciate all the feedback you guys gave me before. Before we do any of that, though, folks, here, let's thank my patrons, guys. Thank you so much for all of your support throughout. I mean, it hasn't been years yet, but it's been over a year. You guys have been amazing, so consistent, so awesome. I really, truly appreciate everything. Yeah, you guys are awesome, and I am actually making good steps toward getting all of the patrons list, or the Twitch subs list as well. So that being said, let's actually get to the video, shall we? I'm not going to show you my defenses until after. I will just say that my defenses are really good. I have 3 Galactic Legends on defense, along with the usual suspects of like Commander Luke, Darth Revan, General Skywalker, all of that. So very tough defense, but I'll show you guys the defense and the results at the end if you're just patient. So let's get it on. So here's my opponent's defenses. Again, gosh, hold on, that was really quick. That's what she said. But all right, so we've got Bando, we've got Dooku, and Nute and Bossk. None of these are super crazy. I mean, Nute has Nest on it. Dooku's the one with Jango, and then here we have the I'm bitter that I had to gear these characters clones team. So that was interesting. We have a Basti team with Ki-Adi-Mundi. It's like, really, you can't find a better use for Ki-Adi-Mundi than with Zalbar. But I mean, that team is actually pretty tanky and tough to take out, in fact. So you know, and everything here has relics. Every single character is relicked. So there's something to be said for that. Shaak T Squad. All right, so we're going down south. We're going to fight this. I might have killed this team. I'm not sure for sure yet, but I would not be surprised to find out that I fought this Bando team 12 different times this season. Everyone puts him on defense except for me, apparently. But it's the same formula every time. You just hit him a bunch with your Geos, and then your spy, you defer that first hit, that first big hit, because it gives a stack of stealth, as nonsensical as this sounds. And I mean, it's Geonosians. They're kind of nonsensical anyways. They wear loincloths for like a bug species that only one kind of one member of their society can actually reproduce. So, you know, there's some weird things going on here societally anyways. But 53 here, good start. We gotta. Here's the thing, guys. My opponent doesn't. I don't outmod my opponent by too much here. We gotta be careful here. My opponent they typically do put at least 1 GL on defense, actually, but I suspected that they're gonna do the similar thing that happened last time. So we gotta be efficient. We have to have rock solid counters. That's the main thing. I mean, having counters that are going to win, that are going to actually do it, non-speculative ones that aren't going to put me in bad standing later in the fight. So, you know, that means we got to. What I want to do actually is develop a list of different teams that are safe to use as a front zone clearer that aren't going to be used against like a Galactic Legend in 3v3. And, you know, whatever crazy surprises are in the back, you can always find a different counter to them kind of thing. So, like, Mon Mothma is a perfect example. Like, my opponent normally does put General Grievous on defense, and that, of course, you guys have seen that a million times that General Grievous will take the L to Mothra, but there's also a million counters to Grievous at this point in 3v3, and so the question is, and should I just save this for Grievous? It's like, can they actually take something out in the front zone with decent efficiency and reliability? And the answer really is yeah. Like, Mothra kills a lot of different things in 3v3, including this Hux team. This Hux team is problematic. I know that a few different streamers, like good player streamers, not just like the entertainment ones, have asked, like, how the heck do I beat Hux teams? I don't know how to beat Hux teams. And apparently that's the answer. Use Mothra. So 54 pretty easy banners. And now I'm facing this Jango team. Well, it's a Dooku team, but really, who owns it? I mean, it's got to be Jango, right? So just got to take out Dooku when we can. And the idea here is if we can stun Jango, even though he's in damage immunity, he's still stunned. He can't actually do anything to me right now. And so, yeah, did a hit, got a stun on him. Well, he can't even do anything. He can't do anything when he's stunned, I should say. So, anyways, the goal here is to take out Dooku as quick as we can, because he can get frustrating. Jango is actually available for death currently as well. Though really, I mean, Jango can do a tremendous amount of damage. There's no denying it, and so can Droideka. So, and really, in his own ways, Dooku can as well. But if you're thick for days, like this Bando team, I mean, Jango's damage is not as pronounced. So, I was able to take Dooku out, able to take Jango out, and now we're just waiting. We're just waiting for a while. I probably should have sped this up a little bit more. It takes a while to get Droideka into... there's like this one little opportunity window here where he's in damage immunity, or he's out of damage immunity. He's about to roll up into a little ball, and then you can maybe stun him before he's in damage immunity. But now he's got tenacity up. He's got his damage immunity. So now we just have to wait, and once he's available, he takes 2 turns, and then his third is the one that he can actually do damage to. You have to have Queel do the stun. I've done this 2 other times in the past. We were in the Gambit fight night, and Solo and all were both like, really? Are you kidding me? Like, what? Of course you can't be Droideka. Like, you don't have a Dispel. And I'm like, well, you guys haven't seen my last couple fights, apparently, because I've done this 3 times in a row now. So 53, decent banners, pretty reliable in my opinion. I mean, the RNG is that if he dodges enough times against Queel's stun, then you could have some real problems. But all right, so we're using Aurra Sing Bounty Hunters, and this is something I might want to change for next season. Like, Bossk lead with the same 3, or with the same 2, with Greef and Mando, is probably more reliable in general, but I like having Bossk on defense, so I'm not sure how to mitigate that. So, I mean, Aurra just dies. She just does. Even at Relic 2, she just dies to like almost anything. There's not much offense here. I mean, Nest can do some damage, but not anymore. Goodbye, Nest. And, I mean, so Nest can do some damage. Obviously, Asajj can ramp up, though there's not much that Asajj can ramp up to. I guess we already have dealt, what, 4 deaths at this point, so Asajj is reasonably ramped up. But, I mean, with Oregon and, you know, the 2-man game of Greef and Mando, we can do it. So, beat that team. Not the very best 51, but you always take that against Nute. Like, GL Nute is just crazy. So, finally, I've said this a lot of times before, and I still believe it. Traya is a great team. She really does do a lot of cool stuff, but she doesn't counter anything really good. Like, she counters things that are pretty good, like Padme or Bossk or whatever. But this team is all relic. They're pretty well modded. This is a scary team, actually. It's very difficult to beat this team, and Traya has a lot of good natural advantages against it, and Traya is a front zone team. If you can counter something with Traya in the front zone, and you don't need her for that top zone that has obvious teams there, then use Traya. Just use your Traya up, and yes, I mean, a lot of people say, like, well, how are you going to kill Geos? And, oh, look at this. I sniped out Dengar right early on. That's pretty key to this fight, actually. But use Traya. Just use her up. So killing Dengar there, just as a target of opportunity, is pretty sweet, actually, because he throws those grenades and extends the fight for a long time. And what we're really trying to do here is get Sion to the point where he can do his big hit, and you have to have the debuff from Sion, whatever it's called, the hatred thing. You have to have that, and then you do the special at the big hit and heal him up. And the goal with Traya is typically, sometimes you can get a 53 or even a 54 if you get lucky and they don't target your characters, or you get the right protection up from Traya. But typically you aim for a 52. So 52 here, that's about as best as you can expect, as good as you can expect from that team. But we got through the front zone, kind of a tricky front zone, without any GLs or really big squads. And this back zone is just not too great. So up top, we're going to use the social contract team. I'll let you guys watch that. I'm going to take a sip of tea. Pretty standard. You stun Finn, you stun Poe, you reduce turn meter on backup Finn, and then you just finish everyone off as necessary. So 54 here, nothing really to write home about. Just pretty consistent, pretty standard team. 54, that's fine. It's not bad. So anyways, what we're trying to do here, guys, is find the obvious things that we need to use. So like social contract is just built in. There's not a ton of teams that can counter social contract team, and with any kind of like consistency, I guess, other than like Galactic Legends. And so like that Han Chu team, the Wedge Han Chu, it does well against a lot of teams, but it doesn't. It's not. It's also. It's like Traya. It's about on the level of Traya, frankly. Like it can take out a lot of teams, but it's nothing. There's nothing too crazy about it. So, anyways, we're trying to find different teams that we can take out for decent efficiency. So, like, what kills this Kylo team? There's a few different teams that kill it, honestly, but Padme. My Padme is not modded super fast. Not as well as I probably should have her. Like, she could be faster, but honestly, you kind of make that trade-off. You make that decision for your other team. So the idea here is, what team am I just going to get a 51 against? Like, Padme is going to get a 51 against almost any team, and it's a strong enough team, you need to use it against another strong team. And so what we're doing here is, I mean, this crew team is very obviously going to get us a 51. If not, that's like a 50. Sometimes they can get an FU hit in right at the end. But, I mean, it's a pretty consistent win as well. I mean, you get the damage immunity from Anakin, and I know that courage is wasted. That's the thing that a lot of people ask me, actually, is how can you kill it? Like, courage doesn't work against either of the Kylos. It's like, well, it's the damage immunity or healing immunity from Anakin that can really do some work. So keep in mind, if there's a crew in 3v3 that has a ton of tenacity, you might want to rethink things. All right, so you guys know that I lost my last match because of Bad Batch, and frustrating, sad, whatever. I don't like that, but so the idea is here they have all these buffs, and we can gain all this turn meter, and we can really control the situation just by cycling stuns. And I was like, all right, we're going to actually figure out which characters to use or which abilities to use, and actually control the fight here, as opposed to just button mashing. So, reading some of these abilities, I mean, the idea is you get stun on these guys. They're not getting any turn meter. They're all debuffed to hell as well. I mean, you can see the healing immunity on them, the target lock, all that stuff. now they have more buffs, so we can eventually, when we get a turn with Echo, once we can actually get a turn and reset those cooldowns, you can do some cool stuff. So, or not reset the cooldowns, but dispel all of the buffs, then everyone gets turn meter, and I don't know, you're just kind of cycling, like passing things from character to character. You're stunning people who are dazed, and I don't know, this turns out to be just a really powerful team against almost any squad that's going to have a bunch of buffs on them to start with, or even if they don't have them to start with. Like, it's not as effective, but I mean, my Echo's pretty quick. Like, they're gonna go first most times, and you can still do some good work if you're actually focused. In 5v5, man, they can do some crazy things I'm discovering. So, anyways, we're looking for other teams that are going to be obviously difficult to beat, and the Shaak team squad has a ton of offense, just a ton of offense, and so we want to take it out, obviously. What team do we have that's going to be more resilient than this? It's pretty obviously going to be it's probably easily going to be Jedi Revan. Like, this is almost like, this is like my third best team after my Galactic Legends. I don't have anything better than Jedi Revan. Like, that's how on the edge I am. So you can see that both have Retribution. You do the AoE from Grandmaster Yoda because he has strategic advantage, which means they can't counter while you have that little blue buff over his head. So anyways, just focused on Arc. I don't really think I had a specific reason for that, other than he was already targeted. So I just, they're both pretty similar. So I was like, man, Grandmaster Yoda, that was pretty dumb. I was trying to steal turn meter and with the big hit, and then I was like, oh, they have tenacity up, and then I just killed Echo and called it good. So anyways, now we're going to this Mothra team. I thought for a long time, I was like, man, if I took Nest here, I think Nest would be pretty nice. But the idea is, I kind of pinpointed the team that I wanted to use Sith Eternal on. Didn't need to use Watt with Sith Eternal. So the idea was, all right, so that activates suddenly this Stormtrooper Han Wampa team. It doesn't work if you don't have that, but here's the thing, guys. Look at all their hits that they're doing. They're all like less than 5,000, and we're healing for like almost 5,000 every time they hit me. And so the idea is, Watt gives the weapons tech to Wampa, of course, so that he's doing crazy damage. He does double damage against Rebels. And Stormtrooper Han, they dispel him every time they shoot, because of the worthless soldier guy that that Arnold calls Combat Carl. And so they dispel every time, but he just regrows it back again because you have the tank tech on Stormtrooper Han. He, with his Zeta, I should add, is just regenerating at a faster rate than they can actually do damage. And once Baze dies, they can't regenerate him, they can't respawn him because Wampa had the weapons tech. So pretty awesome counter there, in my opinion. Now, we have this Mando team. It's got Canderous and Gar, led by Bo-Katan. I looked and I was like, man, I'm pretty sure I just outspeed these guys by a huge amount. So we're gonna... For a little bit, I thought it was the armor, and armor would kind of shut this down, armor lead, because armor puts so much but that bonus protection down that's undispellable that you can't probably punch your way through it, but Bo-Katan doesn't do any such thing, and you can just totally punch your way through it. So 54 there. Really simple kill, actually. I was stressed out because I thought if it was armor, it was going to be a much tougher fight, actually. So here's the Remorse team. This is the team that people just get so mad that they have to gear certain characters. Like, it's not that this team is good, it's that they were forced to gear it, and everyone is at Relic 5 now. I mean, Hunter isn't, but this guy's probably just farmed Hunter and like, well, may as well just throw him in. But then you have Cody and Clone Sergeant. I mean, this is the exact same thing, honestly, guys, as people getting mad and running those awful, like, Cholo teams with Rolo in front, like Captain Han with Rebel Officer Leia Organa, because you have to have them geared for whatever reason, and it's just not. a good idea. So you can see here with Rey, if you want to go, rewind and stuff, it might be worthwhile. Like, what I'm doing is I'm jumping in and hitting the guys who, and reducing the guys who have high turn meter, and I'm just controlling, because I don't really have that high of hitting power. These guys have a ton of hit points and stuff, but the idea being that I have a stun, I have turn meter manipulation, we can do this. So, yeah, pretty easy win if you really pay attention to it. Now, if I just try to bludgeon someone, that might work depending on mods and stuff, but you don't need to bludgeon people. That needs to be like a campaign poster or something. You don't need to bludgeon people. So here you see we have Vader with Hoda and Thrawn. And that's just because I don't need Hoda anywhere. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just make sure that I get full banners. I wanted to make sure. Like, 54 is typically just gonna be fine. Like, it's fine. Probably Vader plus Thrawn would have been fine as well, but may as well just make sure. Get the 54, and I mean, I don't know. We probably could have gotten a 55 if I'm being honest. So now we have 2 Galactic Legends left. We have Kenobi that I saved for General Grievous. I know I was just telling you guys how Grievous has a ton of counters, and he does, but it was going to work out better this way. So so we're using Sith Eternal here. Link on the 2 Jedi just to steal all of their normal protection, at least, just to increase my own protection. For a little bit I thought about linking Zelbar, because the only way he can get armor shred on me is through his AoE critting. And so it's kind of fun to link him and just make him impotent like that. But in the end I was like, you know what, we can just link the 2 Jedi. Those guys are really the crux of the team anyways, and we're not going to get we're not going to get 56, probably get a 55, almost guaranteed. You definitely want the link on Ki-Adi-Mundi, because you don't want to get linked. You can see here I'm stealing the protection from Zelbar now, just for funsies, and yeah, get our ultimate and pray that we don't get ability blocked forever by Basti, like see how she just did. But this wasn't scary. There was no tension here involved in this fight at all. We just brutally, savagely annihilating this squad is what was on the table, what was on the menu. Alright, so he's got the 2 Calamari cruisers on defense for fleets. We'll deal with that after we take... I was like, man, can we just do without taking Mace? And at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, it's more fun, more iconic to just use the whole team. Now, I did just earlier today apply the ultimate on Kenobi, and he is crazy, man. He's so fun with his ultimate. That team is so cool. Like, he's exactly like Sith Eternal in that, where he just does. So check this out, guys. Can we kill Grievous before we kill B1? The answer is yes. Just wanted to try it. So, anyways, yeah, he's good enough, I guess, without his ult, but he's one of those guys, you need the ult. Sith Eternal needs his, and so does Kenobi. He's just a totally different character with it. So, anyways, we're just kind of playing with our food. I don't know. I was like, you know what? I think they stole a little bit of my protection at some point. Let's try to heal it. And turns out you absolutely can do that. So there we go. 54 on Grievous, and really pretty efficient match so far. I mean, a couple 51s obviously, but mostly 54s actually. I would say that the greater preponderance of scores, we probably got 54s. So anyways, I'm taking Malevolence against Radis, and this is really scary. It looks like it maybe made this a little faster than I intended. So the idea here, we need to land any buzz droids at all, and they do have evasion up, so that all these dodges, I'm not complaining about them dodging, about them following some of these mechanics that are built in, but I will complain that it's annoying to have them built in. Like, dodge meta is never fun. It's just never fun. It is super frustrating. You get that whatever his name is, the Razor Crest in from reinforcements, and that's also irritating. There's certain things about it that can be frustrating, and so it's kind of weird though. It's not supported by any other bounty hunter ships. So I mean, It'd be a lot deadlier if it did have other bounty hunter ships, but as it stands, it's like, okay, we need to get buzz droids on ships, and then as we can get buzz droids on them, then we can perhaps just take them out. So I got spy in here. Normally I don't use spy, but I'm like, man, that Raddus is getting kind of close. Like, they're taking a lot of turns. We're probably going to end up in a situation where Raddus just kills our capital ship. So I need more actual solid ships available, like real life for real ships available in case both of our capital ships die and I'm just left with nothing but my vultures, my summoned stuff. And so for a little bit got stuck there by Spy's mechanic because we were forced to get the we were forced to put the taunt on someone else, and it went onto the Razor Crest, which I would have just normally ignored, I think. But as it stands, they got their other Falcon in. I thought for sure when the Falcon did come in, I thought that they were going to kill my ship. I think that that's what the AI should have done. I might have gotten a little lucky there, but we got 61, and we'll just move on and pretend like I'm a genius. So now they have a slower Biston than me. They actually one of the Biston / Scarif Rebel Pathfinders was missing a mod, I found out. So significantly slower than my own Biston, and I actually just upped them to Relic 5 recently as well, just to be a little faster in that kind of situation. 6 E-mods on all of them, and now the hope is that we can just take this Falcon out. Of course, dodge is a thing, and that being said, it looks like our home one is faster, so, or maybe we just got a coin flip, who knows, but we got 65 there. Not too bad for fleet, 61 and 65, and the final result here, guys, on my end, is a 3320, which is one of the best scores I've had this season, and I mean, just what the doctor ordered, honestly, because I'm, as you know, I was kind of reeling from that defeat last match, and we're facing the same exact kind of guy, almost the exact same lifetime and skill level. Like, really needed to make sure that I executed here, and this time I did. So thank goodness for that. You know, like I could go to bed without. I mean, that's only dropping, I think, 19 total banners. Like that's like one banner each fight, basically. So. I mean, good luck. Good luck getting through my General Skywalker, Jedi Master Luke, I mean, 3 Galactic Legends, all this stuff. So let's actually go real quick to the final results here, guys. If I can find the right button, as usual. Okay, so here it is, guys. We got the win. We did get the win. I mean, I was pretty sure we were going to get the win after that score. So, a pretty standard result for me, actually. I've only been full clear twice this season, in fact. So, you know, and I've gotten the clear all but once. Pretty good result for a 3v3 season against a bunch of just really, really strong accounts. But you can see on my front zone we have General Skywalker, Darth Revan, Jedi Master Luke, Commander Luke, who's modded the special fancy way, and then Galactic Legend Nute with Jango. This is one of my favorite squads. Mostly, they got a 55 on one of them. I'm guessing they got the 53 on here. They got a 47 on one of them. I'm guessing he did a Commander or a General Skywalker mirror match. I'm not sure about that. And then they waited for a long time because I thought, man, my back zone is so gross. I wonder if they just decided they didn't want to. They just didn't want to try. But eventually they did. After about an hour and a half, they did start attacking again. They attacked all the way up to the clock, basically. Real close. So, killed my Ray 5's Barris team, the Fin Poe team, Ray with some garbage characters. And then, of course, we have the egregious defense here by Luke and Supreme Leader Kylo. Not sure at what point they lost their friends, their handlers, but at that point, I mean, they're armies unto themselves if you don't have the right characters to defend against them, or to beat them, I should say. So, up top, we've got just some standard garbage-ish teams. Not garbage exactly, like they're strong teams that require some attention, but they're not amazing. They're not transcendent. And then here they got I think they got a 50 or a 63 against 61 against this Tarkin fleet. But then this team they got a 53 against. I was like, oh, what squad did they kill for 53? And then I looked. I was like, oh, my negotiator. Woo. 0 reinforcements. That was a really close match. They had all the reinforcements come out. So we got the win, 11-1 for the round, or for the season, and now we've got 5v5 on the table. It's going to be crazy. Got number 28 currently. I wouldn't be surprised if I drop a couple more ranks, but I mean, all said and done, this is definitely my best rank. By the end of it, we just hit 901k lifetime banners, which is also fancy, and that's because, of course, we just had way more banners that were accumulating every match, right? Like an extra 800, something like that. So just really went fast. And again, what she said. But it's been a good season. I lost that last match, which is disappointing, actually. If I'd finished this season with a perfect rank, or with a perfect record, I would have ended up going 4 consecutive seasons in 3v3 undefeated. So that was a pretty big streak that my opponent wiped out last match. And all I have to say is, I mean, congrats to him. Next 3v3, it's on once again. We're gonna just keep going as close as we can, of course, to undefeated. I have some more ideas, some new teams that we're gonna try out. Bad Batch is gonna be out in force. Hopefully, we get some more new fancy other characters as well. So that being said, folks, I hope you enjoyed it. This was a little faster in terms of how fast the video reel played. I would love feedback again. I would really appreciate a like. If you didn't remember to leave one, please do leave one. It helps the channel so much. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that already. If you don't want to hear from me, just don't click the bell or unclick it or whatever. Would really appreciate that, though. We're trying to mount the algorithm. So that being said, folks, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xerath prevails.